Hello, this is old Mr. Kent, and I could say of MrKent.com because in this story, we're going to find out where that title came from. I'm 82 years old and I'm telling my life story, and got several videos made now. If you want to look at them, at the end of this video, there'll be a link that says Life Story. You go there and there's a playlist of all the videos on my life story. All right, so so let's get started on today's. In my last video, if you remember, I went to work for an outfit that I didn't even want to mention, so I don't want to say any more about it. But that was in 1992 when I went to work there, and by 1995, I knew I wanted to find another job. That was not a nice place. It wasn't a good place to work. And of course, I'm over 50 now. I think I was 51, and so I needed to find another job. I couldn't just quit because I had bills and kids, and you got to find another job first. So in April of that year, I subscribed to the newspaper and started going through the want ads looking for a job. So I started in April, and I started sending out resumes to find a job. I sent out from April, May, June, July, and into August. I sent out 47 resumes. I got a couple letters back that said thanks, but no thanks. Remember, now I'm 50. When you hit 50, it's like, well, you're getting too old, you know. In fact, if you're 35 or more, you can't go to work as a air controller in a tower because your eyesight starts to go about that time. Anyway, that's another story. So I sent out resume, and 47 resumes, all those, you know. And every morning, now I'm going to share a little bit about my prayer life. Every morning I would get up and I'd say, please help me find another job, a new job, every morning. And of course, nothing was happening. In April, May, June, July, just wasn't working. So finally in August, I don't remember what day it was, but after every day saying, help me find a new job, it looked to me like I wasn't supposed to get a new job. And so that morning, whatever morning it was, I got up and I said, okay. When I went to prayer, I said, if you want me to stay on this job, I'll stay on this job. Thing happened was a funny thing. That very day, I got 2 calls for interviews. Now go figure that. So anyway, that was like a miracle. But there goes the road runner. He's going to try to outrun me there. Anyway, and so I went to work. I went to the interview and everything. Got a job at a computer school in Spokane, Washington. Remember, now I was in Othello, Washington, which is at the center of the state, and Spokane's up in the northeast corner of the state. And so I got a job up there as an instructor. And so we moved up to Spokane, had to rent a house, find a place to live, and all of our stuff, move it up there. So we got moved in, and I went to work, and the owner, I didn't realize it at the time, but the classroom that I had, my first classroom that I had, was his office was on the other side of the wall. So he would listen to me when I was teaching, to decide whether or not he wanted to keep me, you know. And so, oh, here comes the garbage truck. I think I'm going to turn around and go the other way. And so he told me after I'd been there a little while, he says, "I like the way you teach." And so that was encouraging. Anyway, that garbage truck is catching up with me. Anyway, so he liked my teaching. Well, and this is, I taught, actually, the school had several classrooms. Each classroom had 16 computers, and so you had 16 students for each class. They had morning classes and afternoon classes. And so I don't remember which class I was, morning or afternoon. I think it was probably morning. I preferred morning. Anyway, so there was this one teacher, a lady teacher, that I don't know what she did, but man, she had 16 students mad at her. And by the way, most of the students, and in fact all of the students in that class, were single moms, and they're trying to get an education so they can go to work in an office, sitting at the computers, welcome people to the office or whatever. And so they had to learn Microsoft Office. That's what was taught at the school. Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint, I think is what it was. So that whatever that teacher did, she made 16 girls, 16 women mad at her. And so they were so mad that they went into the owner's office, and they said, we're going to quit, or give us a refund or whatever. And of course, they talked about it, and he said, I'll see what I can do to help. And so he comes to me, and he asked me, can you take on a second class for this? They were like, I think they were 9-week classes or something like that. Anyway, and that's a second class. That's twice as many papers to grade and all that. And I said, yeah, I'll do that, So on a Monday morning, he took me down and introduced me to this class of 16 young ladies. Most of them were young ladies, I guess. Anyway, introduced me, and so and then he left, and I started introducing or telling them how I was going to do things and this and that and the other thing. And of course, I've been told I was a good teacher. I don't know if I am or not, but as the weeks went by, they really liked how they were being taught. And so, and everybody was on a first name basis. Like the owner was Dave, and some other teacher was, I can't remember everybody's name anyway. And I was Kent. And so, but those ladies started calling me Mr. Kent. And so, that just got started, and then it was like everybody in the school was calling me Mr. Kent after a while. And so that went on. And so eventually, let's see, where should I go here? I guess I'll just keep going here. Anyway, eventually, I got these young ladies came up to me. See, in that school, in order to graduate with a good grade, you had to be able to type at 60 words a minute. And by the way, I had already written programs for an individual computer to let you practice 60 words a minute. Now at that point in time, just like a couple years, well, during the 3 years that I was in Othello, okay, the internet became, popular. America Online. I signed up for that, and I started figuring out how to make web pages. So I got interested in making web pages, and I didn't have any reason to have a web page except just to play around and learn how it works. And so the couple of the ladies came over and talked to me, and they said, you know what? you like to do programming, because they knew about that. And they said, we have a problem because we have children, and in order for us to practice our typing, we have to get a babysitter so we can come into the lab and sit down and use the typing stuff in the lab to practice our typing. And they said, or we can buy a typing tutor program for about $30 or $40 and put it on our computer at home. But they said it would be nice if you could write a program on the internet that we could go to and practice our typing. And so I said, yeah, I can do that. So what I did is I wrote, and the first ones I wrote were really, really bad, but they worked. And so I wrote I created a typing test and a typing tutor. And that way you could learn how to type, and then you could test your work, test your ability. And so I put those up, and I had to have a website to do that. And that's where MrKent.com came from, MRKENT.com. Now, back then, you could get, it was just beginning, so, you could just about get any name that you wanted, because there wasn't very many people getting online, like there is now. And so I was able to get that title for my website. So now we had MrKent.com, and that typing tutor, I kept improving it and making other versions, and got more and more people coming to my website. In fact, I put ads on the website, and for quite a while I was making over $2,000 a month from the people that came to my website to practice their typing. And of course, that lasted quite a while, and then cell phones with texting came along. And people didn't have to type from the computer to send email anymore. They could just type on their cell phone. And that was really kind of the reason that my income went down. But that's another story. So anyway, so then I had MrKent.com, and I taught at that school, and I had students who they really, I don't know how come. I don't know why, but a lot of those young ladies, they didn't forget me. Like one time, my wife and I went to the doctor, and we'd never been to that doctor before. And here was one of my ex-students sitting at the welcome desk or whatever. She jumped up, ran around the corner, came running over, and gave me a big old hug. And I had to explain to my wife that was one of my ex-students. Anyway, they really appreciated what I taught them, and so it was a fun experience. And I taught there for 5 years, and I was made an administrator, and that was kind of cool to be an administrator, but I didn't get a raise or anything. In fact, the raises that I had been promised when I started working there, they didn't show up either. So that was okay, because I enjoyed teaching, and so that was okay. But after a while, I got tired of being an administrator for nothing. So I told the boss, I said, you just find somebody else to do this job. I'll just be a regular old teacher. And so I taught there for 5 years. Let me get around this corner here there we go. I taught there for 5 years, and enjoyed a lot. And so that was my experience at my new job in Spokane, Washington. And Yeah, the first the first year we rented a house, and then we went from there till we bought a house, and started fixing it up the way we wanted it and stuff like that. So anyway, that's today's story. I'll tell you more about that along the way, and I didn't have any flying stories to fit in with this because that makes my videos too long. So next story, I'll probably have more videos on flying, and we'll see how all that goes. So anyway, for now, I want to thank you for watching my video, and God bless.